it is time to make the sound to summon the stream. Wow, 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 wow. Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Will Quickcard, and welcome back. Yes, Rainbow, I do remember that you made the Among Us sprites. I actually have them already in my collection of files. They just need to be dropped into the resources folder. And that would actually work really well for something that we have going on. Honestly, yeah, you guys are figuring this out. Mimic, shapeshifter, imposter. The line, that's no zombie, that's an imposter. Something like that. I can play with that once I get into the zombie flesh pits. Let's put on some music while we get started. This works out. Yeah, I know you're referencing FNAF since the new FNAF dropped and the Mimic is a big thing there, but honestly, it basically works just as well for an Among Us. What if the Among Us can shapeshift into other characters and you... Oh. One of the things we had considered for an enemy in the Necropolis was the copying Catboy. I could definitely take the copying Catboy ability and just make it an Among Us instead. I think that's a good idea, and it works well. It works with the theming of the dungeon, I think, better than the Catboy. Copying Catboy is an idea that I could use again later in the project, but in Among Us that uses party member skills in the flesh pit. In my humble opinion, Among Us is better than Catboys. Okay, so we actually do have good idea for the flesh pit enemies. So we have the party skill copying Among Us, and various chimeras are definitely going to be there. And then some kind of crab. I have a note here for... Oh, these are monster names. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So we will make notes of those. Hi Monster, Katos, Matongo, Gnome. Okay, that works well. For the Necropolis enemies, we've already decided Black Knight for enchanted armor. Demon Pot. Okay, those are good notes. Alright, anyway, I didn't even do my intro. Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Will Quickcard, and welcome back to the Community RPG Maker Project. Once again, we are continuing to work on the Necropolis. Rainbow, I think it's been a few weeks since you were here. So let me catch you up to speed along with anyone else who comes across this. So the big goal is we are looking for a false Hydra that has been causing trouble in the city of Wallachia. Underneath the city, there is an expansive necropolis, which has pretty much been forgotten by the people on the surface. So, the first thing it goes down to is an area that I've called the Graveyard Gardens, which connects to a number of secondary locations. It's basically a giant, continuous, multi-area dungeon hub network. So this whole area, we've got Wallachia built, we've got the Temple of Death and Darkness, the living area, the seminary, and the library, all within a single building. Today we are going to be working on getting the Barracks of the Undead and the Armory built. This is where we're going to have the barracks. So the barracks connects... Yeah, we grab the armory key off a zombie NPC in the living area. Then you can use that key in the Barracks of the Undead in order to access the armory. That part of the armory is going to connect to a different area of the Graveyard Gardens, somewhere up here. And that part of the Graveyard Gardens is going to connect back to Wallachia proper, specifically giving a secondary entrance here at the city storehouse, where there will be a secret passage. And this is going to be a consistent element throughout the area, where basically Wallachia is like the big market hub for the area, and a lot of different points like connect back to it. And then the Graveyard Gardens themselves are basically like also used to quickly travel between different areas. Also want to start working on enemies today. Does the Graveyard Garden have a pun dialogue in it somewhere with the text "grave mistake"? I like that. We'll make a note of that. Somewhere in the Necropolis, an NPC jokes about a grave mistake. Give me more puns and bad dad jokes of a similar vein. We can just have an NPC with a pile of bad pun dialogue. I also want to work on designing our battles today. So let's level up everybody. And there we go. We're going to need all of this for some testing purposes. Alright, so this is pretty high level stuff. I think that's going to be fine. What is my debug code for unlocking skills? It is debug code 100. Debug code 100. Okay. Guard, let's make sure it's all working properly. Okay, we've got the dragon shifting, we've got the proper skills. Thatcher, do you at least have your skills? Yes. Okay, so we do need to make some changes to the debug code item. We also need to add the skill to Malter Might. Malter needs to learn... Where is it? Prepare special ammo. And then we also need to give the requisite items for the different special types of ammo in, as well. Since that is a big new feature. Yeah, Malter now actually has a series of skills that make use of an ammo system, which is really cool. Don't worry, I'm a man of bad jokes. On April Fools, you should just invert all the colors of the textures and make the music and sound 8-bit. I have no idea how I would do that. Not gonna lie, the soda things in the game would probably make my head pop to keep up with. I have a bad pun idea for the debug item description. The debug item is not going to be included in the final release, in the final build of the game, so there's no real reason to worry about giving it a description. Oh, and one last thing I need to do here before I get, like, properly into this. Don't mind this, it's just my Switch. I need to turn it off. I was grinding some stuff in Fantasy Life earlier today. Okay, shut that down. Perfect. Okay. So, one of the big things I need is enemies. I need some enemies that I can use as a test. So, let's crank up their stats a bit. And let's see how that feels. Let's try a couple of those. We are going to be fighting in, sure, cyberspace for the purposes of this test. Alright, let's go in and check it out. Okay. Let's start with some basic attacks, just to get a read on how much damage we are putting out and how much damage they are doing. Okay. That looks okay. Let's try Dragon War. 282. Malter, why don't you go ahead and prepare some special ammo? Ah. We kind of need... Oh no, it's just doing this because the debug mode gives you, like, every single item. That's fine. And we'll prepare 3 furnace shots. Thatcher, how strong are you? Okay. That actually looks like a pretty good base I can build off of for stats for enemies in the Necropolis. This is basically going to work as the Necropolis mid template. This is something that can be reasonably dealt with without too much issue, but is also going to take like a chunk out of the party, but is not going to demand a significant amount of resources or investment in order to defeat. That should be fine. A pile or cooked Pepsi is like a slime enemy. Pepsi slimes. Not useful for right here. But Pepsi slimes, absolutely perfect idea to go in. What is the arena background for the Amogus? No idea. Alright, let's work on the barracks. So, how do I want the barracks to look? We're just going to copy this building. And this is going to be the music inside. Do you know what happens when you boil Pepsi? I do not. Okay. Just get rid of all of that. Is there a button to just clear it? No. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Okay, this is a little bit loud right now. We're going to turn that down a little bit. All the water in it evaporates and the sugar crystallizes, creating black chunks of sugar. That's interesting. I think that could be integrated into those Pepsi slimes. That's not a bad idea. Alright, so the exterior, I'm sort of using the more... like lighter stone. So this looks like the appropriate color. Okay. So an undead barracks. We don't really need to worry about the undead's, like, well-being too much. But we do need places where they can be reasonably stored. For deployment. So... maybe just like a series of rooms where there's just like several zombies packed in, like waiting to be used for whatever purpose might be necessary. That might be a nice, viable idea. Okay. So we need 1, 2, 3, and then 2 for the walls. Whoops. Just like that. And then, do we have room to do that again? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we have just enough space to do that a few times. We'll just put some lower walls here. Okay. Ether is like an attack where the slime launches the chunks as projectile, or as a defense buffing move where itself turns into a chunk. Those are good ideas. 3, 4, 5... this whole room is not going to quite fit there. But we can put that there, and then 2, 3, 1, 2, just like that. And then we have one more room like that up here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Okay. There we go, just like that. Okay, so these can be like zombie storage, basically. I think that's fairly practical. Two, 3, 1. There we go. One, 2, 3, 1 down and over. There. Okay. This should be sufficient for the zombie storage chambers. So then we'll have like a locked door over here. So what do I have in this area? That is the question, isn't it? I think just like some basic dirt floors for the areas where the zombies are should be fine. Oh, here we go. Yeah, just some, like, dirt floors. Just, like, unfinished looking space. They don't have to worry too much about comfort or anything. I'm actually in a Pokemon ROM hack as a boss. The ROM hack wasn't made by me. That sounds cool. I guess these ones are going to have the bigger walls. Yeah, I think that works. As far as the rest of the flooring... what looks good? Yeah, you did tell me that you got the card DLC for MZ. Did you get to play around with it some more? How does it, how is it? Okay. We will put some stuff here, like stuff has been leaking off of the zombies or something. I could just put like a thing of water. That is a possibility. Kind of nice, makes your party broken though. Your turn doesn't end until you're completely out of cards for character. Oh, fascinating. Sorry, my autocorrect earlier messed what I set up. It's okay. I need a good floor. I don't think that quite works well. I think just basic brick, but that blends in so damn well. Quill, do you have a favorite Pokemon? White Kyurem. White Kyurem is my all-time favorite Pokemon. How does this look up close? It's a little too bright. I meant to say what the arena backroom for the Amogus was the meeting room in Polis. That was purely a background choice for the purposes of the testing. It doesn't reflect anything that's going to actually be within the project. At least, not at this time. I don't quite think that works. Let's have like a carpeted area here where we can have a big table. Like for meetings and stuff. There we go, kind of like a war room. You think the checkered pattern? How about this one? Once I lay out some decorations, this one should work okay. Ooh. Actually, yeah, this checkered looks really good. Let's... Are you on regular or dungeon Necropolis? You are using the inside tile set. Okay. Inside tile set. Okay, checkered floor is walkable. Here we go. Whoops. Honestly, I think that works good, and it sort of fits with the overall aesthetic of this part of the game, of kind of being like a balance between light and dark. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think that looks good. Put a skull on the table, because why not? The building is already full of Reddit mods. I mean, zombies. I can probably find a skull to fit on it. Those actually go on top of pillars. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, I like that. We can put like a nice bit of decoration here. Quill, do you play Smash? Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. I primarily main Samus and Ike. A sign. I want to put some kind of signage. Outside of each of the rooms. Actually, a couple of them are going to be cracked. Sort of to fit with the whole ruined aesthetic. I think that looks good. We'll lay down a few spider webs. Game & Watch is fun. Okay. And now we lay down some stools, just like that. Okay. And then some banners. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Some cracks in the walls. Like that. Maybe have a stool or two knocked over. I do not have a sprite for a knocked over stool. duel. But I could have a couple that have been visibly moved. Yeah, breaking that up a little actually looks really good. And then we'll add a couple places where the wall has been more considerably damaged. Okay. I think that looks fantastic. Oh, who wants my attention? Okay. Nothing of importance. Here we go. That will be the entrance to the armory. Yes, I agree. Absolutely blocked off with bars. My thinking exactly. Do we have... these portcullises kind of work. I like that. Because that one makes it open. And have the bars when interacted with spit bars for the funny. I could do something like that. Hold on. I'm going to need a door. Okay. We need a different opening sound. Yup, that's the sound. Okay. And that is going to happen if the characters have item number 55. So we need an item number 55. Make it into a key. And this is going to be the armory key, a thick metal key labeled Necropolis Barracks. And we'll just call it the barracks key. Alright. And I think that door works best without the move sound effect playing. And then that will activate self-switch A, which has the through on. Number 2 does not, but it does activate self-switch A. Self-switch A, you can travel through it. Okay. Okay. So we can say the bars are locked. Or the opening mechanism for the gate is locked. And then we can say the bars begin spitting bars. And we can play a different background music. Okay. And we will just have each door play a different piece of music. Alright, the bars are going to be spitting bars. Just like you wanted. Yeah, that one works. And this one will go... Nah. Yep, that's a good one. And one more for the bars spitting bars. Yep, that works. Okay. So this takes you out of the Graveyard Gardens, over here, facing down. And then this one, we're not actually going to have a door leading out. We're just going to go with a straight transition point. Okay, that works. Now I need to decorate this a little bit more. So this is specifically not going to be the armory. So we don't want we don't want to have like a bunch of equipment lying around. But we are going to have a bunch of zombies. And when you open the doors and interact with the zombies in front, you'll be able to get little items off of them, like treasure chests. This room does need some kind of decoration, though. I don't think I want it to be storage. I may just go for pillars, if I can't think of something better. A big chair at the head. That looks fantastic. The table really should have some kind of decoration on it, though. Do I have anything that works for, like, spilled drinks? Okay, a few pillars works okay. What else? What else? What else? What else works? Wait, have that skull be the one that tells the puns, kind of like an Undertale reference. I don't intend to have the zombies move, so the player's not going to be able to reach the skulls. They really are just going to kind of be an aesthetic element more than anything else. I don't have a skull. I can't put a skull on the table because I do not have a skull. I could put, like, a dead dog or a dead person on the table, which doesn't really seem like it's going to work particularly well. But aside from that, I don't think I actually have a skull decoration. A bunch of papers, maybe. The person. The table could be like the undead we're just feasting on it. The undead do not eat. They do not need any form of energy consumption to maintain themselves. Is there anything I could do? Anything that even remotely works for a skull? I can do a skeleton. So I could do that. The skeleton might be the closest I can get. Damn, these look awesome. Do I have something like that in the... Yeah, I actually do. Okay, so I do have access to like some really cool statue stuff that I haven't made use of yet. But aside from that, I don't think I have anything that works as a skull. The room still feels kind of empty. I mean, it makes sense that the room would be empty for its purpose. But I think the space feels very sparse as a traversable map. I really may just go with the pillars again. I don't really see a lot of other good options. I saw an image that had a leg fetish diagram with thigh being the most respectable and the feet being least respectable. And you know what? I agree. I'm just going to go ahead and not comment on that one. Okay, for the purposes of testing, we're going to go ahead and make sure all of this works. Okay. Opening mechanism for the gate is locked. The bars begin spitting bars. Okay. Good. Good. Make sure they all have a different tune. I think this works pretty well. And yes, the sound does reset. That's good. Oh. Right. Okay. So, first things first, we're going to fix every one of these. They need to appear locked until we use the barracks key on them. And they will begin playing the music track before it says the bars begin spitting bars. That should be sufficient. I think I've made it a bit too dark, though. I really do think it's too dark. We should fix that up a bit. Okay. There. Graveyard Gardens, let's adjust your light level a bit. Yeah, maybe minus 34? That should work better. Okay. Yes, I think that looks a lot better. You can actually see the design of the walls, and it all just flows a lot better. Okay, let's test the key. Good. 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 Okay. That works. Alright, we have openable doors. And then the last locked door will be here, and this leads into the armory. Okay. So I want this to be a bit open-ended, a bit focused on like exploration. Okay. We'll just add a few wandering zombies in the seminary. I think that works. And finally, in the library, Okay. And then one more here. Those don't really work. Nah, it's fine. This one will just be another zombie then. Okay. So, I think to make it clear, when you walk out into the gardens, you'll see a zombie, and you'll grab something off him, and he doesn't react at all. Since there is no overriding will behind them at this point. And then that will sort of tell the player, oh, I can interact with the zombies and get something from them. So each of the zombies you can interact with will give you something. Okay. So we will have the seminary key, which doesn't actually do anything. But it will make it will let the player know, oh, we're dealing with like a locks and keys situation. So we're going to put another zombie with no movement here. Okay. So this will be the last place where the player has to step. Okay. So, event touch, below characters, and Elena will say something. She'll be like, wait, there's something shiny that zombie is carrying. It might be important. Okay. We'll drop a self switch there. So from here we go right, right, and up. Nice and easy. Movement route, player, right, right, up. Balloon icon on the character, question mark. Then, before we get to the exclamation mark, we will comment on them being passive. It's like it doesn't even notice us. Malter will say something. Green on green camouflage. Malter will say, doesn't seem dangerous. It's like it doesn't even notice us. And then Elena will comment, I don't think it does. Or I don't think it can. It's completely mindless. Just don't try to attack it, and we should be all right. And then Granny will be like, they're in its hand. I think it's holding a key. Then the exclamation point. Elena will be like, try to get it, but be careful. And then we'll have a sweat thing, and Ryu took a key from the zombie. It shows no signs of resistance or even awareness. Okay, and then you found the seminary key. And we'll go ahead and increase the number on that. You found the seminary key. Okay. And then Malter will say, well, at least they seem to be passive. And then we will activate a switch. And that switch will be seminary key get. Good. Switch is already on, so it doesn't do anything. That all looks fine. Once the seminary key get switch is on, the zombie doesn't have anything else useful on them. Okay. Cool. So now I kind of have to add like a treasure bit. The zombie was holding a bag containing 250 bottle caps. And increase your bottle caps by 250. And then self-switch. Okay, So basically, I have to do something like this for every single zombie. Just to make it clear that you should be searching zombies for items. That'll make it natural and reasonable that the player would check the zombies in the seminary for keys. Okay. So this one is going to be holding a blood soda. The zombie was holding a can of blood soda. Okay. This one is holding cocaine. He was holding a bag of cocaine. There we go. And this one can be holding a bag of 400 bottle caps. Cool. Oh. There we go. I never finished putting a fence around the seminary. Self-switch A, self-switch A. Self-switch A. And self-switch A. Then in the library with the 3 zombies. Self-switch A. Self-switch A. Self-switch A. Cool. Copy that. So this one is going to be carrying a filling donut. Lee was holding a filling donut. Cool. This one's just going to be holding a teeny bit of money. The library is going to have one with just a little bit of money. This one is going to be holding a 6-pack of Pepsi bottles. B was holding a 6-pack of bottles of Pepsi. So you get 6 bottles of Pepsi from that one. And then this one gives you A cheap energy drink is holding a cheap energy drink. Okay, cool. Oh, whoops. And then this zombie's going to have the key. So this one's just going to have 200 bottle caps. Cool. Okay, next thing I need to do is add this bit of dialogue to the second page of every single zombie. Okay. And then this can make a nice surprise later when you find the remains of Elena's sister, who's like blocking a path. So you interact with that zombie, and then you actually get like a mini boss fight. Good thing Pepsi never expires. In this world, it sure doesn't. But realistically, this Necropolis isn't ancient. The zombies are regularly used for as a labor and a defensive force in this city. Realistically, these things have only been down here unattended for a few months. And while I wouldn't particularly want to, drinking a few-month-old Pepsi is not going to hurt you. It's not like Castlevania's wall chicken, where realistically you are probably eating chicken that has been stuck in the wall of a haunted castle full of undead abominations for quite possibly centuries. Okay, and then in the barracks... There we go. Just make one quick adjustment here in the barracks. We will worry about their items in a minute. And at least one of these guys is actually going to give, like, a new item. Okay, that's good. Cool. So this one is going to be the zombie was holding a vile raiment. Change the armor. There we go, vile raiment. Because I think back in the abandoned temple's basement, we actually have, yeah, a vile crown. Okay, perfect. So this will be like an accompaniment to that free piece of treasure. This one is just holding a blood soda. Okay, blood soda. This one will be holding jerky. We'll just have, like, some random stuff here. Was holding a bag with 3 cursed bombs. Okay. Very good. And then the rest of them are just going to have some money. So it's holding a bag with 150 bottle caps. Cool. No, wait. I don't want to copy the event page. I just want to copy the event part. This one's just got 30 bottle caps. Okay. You have something. You have something. You have something. You have something. Okay. This one is going to give a hint for the book. Yeah, this one's going to give a hint about the book thing that we're going over here. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we have, like, empty shelves? Not really. 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Okay, so these will be like noticeably different bookshelves. Unless I can do even better for making them noticeably different. Yeah. This has a noticeably different design. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 and 7. Okay. That works. So this zombie was holding a note. Not gonna lie, I hate generative AI. I am not much of a fan of it myself. The note reads, return the opened books in alphabetical order, please. It is signed by... It is signed by librarian... Librarian Richard. Okay. So that'll be the clue to what you are supposed to do here. So now we've got like, a whole thing here. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna actually have to change something here. Crap. Okay. We're going to need a couple common events here. For any time that I want to use hidden item inventories. So, time to make new common events. It's going to be 28 and 29. Okay, 28 and 29. Cool. So, common event 28 is going to be remove ammo items. And event 29 is going to be return ammo items. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Gravity ammo, sunlight ammo, and growth ammo. And then when we return the ammo items, first we add back the furnace ammo. Then, oh boy, we've got so many damn triggers I'm going to have to reference here. The chill orb get. Okay, so if you have the Glarf orb, then you get the growth ammo. Wait, no, that's not supposed to be a control shift. That's supposed to be a conditional. If Glarf orb get is on, then you give the growth ammo. If the Wallachia orb has been gotten, and God only knows where the hell I put that. Okay, the wall orb get is on. Then you will also add back the sunlight ammo. Which means we're going to need a new switch for Spire Orb Get, which will give you back the gravity ammo. Okay. So now I'm going to have to go all the way back to the Pepsi Portation realm. and have that turn on my new switch for the Spire Orb Get. I think I missed a lot. There's been a lot of new systems added to this game. Like, it's actually kind of crazy how much has actually been added to this. Okay. So this is where it gets complicated. You interact with this, which is on the same level as the character. It will say, you found a book. Or, no, there is an open book on the floor. You pick it up. And it's going to say it is titled Jeremy's Guide to Corpse Preservation. Okay. You pick it up, so it activates the self switch. And it activates the switch for we'll say that this is like the third book on the list. So this is Jeremy Book Get. This is going to be Abridged Book Get. This is going to be Danger Book Get. So I need 7 of these in alphabetical order. C, E, F, D, H, I, J, K, L. Lessons Book Get. L, M, N. Necromancy Book Get. That makes 5. Tears Book Get. And then finally, Wallachia Book Get. Okay. Sonic Racing Crosswords feels like a damn fever dream. If you have ever seen Snapcube's Sonic fan dub series, it's absolutely hilarious that they show Hatsune Miku after they show off crap, what's that guy's name? It's Jetstorm and whatever. They show that guy. I would not be surprised if in editing a conscious decision was made to reference Snapcube's Sonic Riders video. It's in the same series as the I'm pissing on the moon thing, which is going to be an extremely weird sentence that anyone hears who doesn't already know. Okay. So the Jeremy Book Get. Good. So now I need to make multiple versions of this. And so that I don't confuse the player, we're going to take the little scrolls off of the floor. There we go. So I do want to put some kind of different clutter on the floor. What works as a different, like, little clutter that there could be? I mean, I don't have to have a lot of clutter, honestly. But I am going to need some more stuff. So this is going to be Jeremy's Guide to Corpse. Jeremy's Guide to Corpse Preservation, Hidden Item A. And it's just going to be a book with a red icon. This one is going to be Abridged Adventures of Abridged Adventures of Corpus. This is going to be called Dangerous Magical Practices. Four, 5, 6, 7. Wallach's best chili recipes. And this one will be Tears of the Dead. Okay, what were the other switches I just added? Abridged, Danger, Jeremy, Lessons, and Necromancy. Okay. So this is going to be Necromancer for Dummies. And this is going to be Lessons on Dead by Daylight. Finally finished downloading. Well, doesn't that just seem thematically appropriate? Lessons on Proper Prayer. Okay. This is going to be Necromancy for Dummies. And that is the Necromancy book. Okay. This one's going to be Wallachia. Is titled Wallach's Best Chili Recipes. Okay. This one will be Abridged Adventures of Corpus. this is Abridged Adventures of Corpus. All of this is going to be a puzzle to give Thatcher a new spell. Okay. Next one is going to be here. So we still need to do dangers, lessons, and tears. So this will be lessons on proper prayer. This one is going to be dangerous magical practices. Dangerous magical practices. Alright, and all that should leave is Tears of the Dead. It's titled Tears of the Dead. Okay. Tears book get. Okay. And so now we have a really interesting puzzle. So when you interact with this, it's going to be like there is an empty spot on the bookshelf. Try putting a book into it, and it will offer you the choice, yes or no. And if you choose yes, then the first thing it's going to do is run our new common event, remove ammo items. At the end of everything, it's going to... At the end of all of that, it's going to run return ammo items. So then we run several conditional checks. If you have the abridged book, switch. Then it gives you the item Abridged Adventures. 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we do this check for each of the different types of books. Okay. So if you have the lessons book, it gives you lessons on proper prayer. If you have the necromancy book, it gives you the necromancy for dummies. If you have the tears book, it gives you Tears of the Dead. And if you have the Wallachia book, it gives you Wallachia's Best Chili. So after it gives you all of these items, then it will have you select an item from Hidden Item A. Which will run the option check. No, I don't. I think I'm using option. Okay, this is just going to be generic item selection. Okay. And then it will run a conditional where if the variable generic item selection is equal to 201, then it will decrease. No. It doesn't have to decrease the item because we're just going to remove the items anyway. But it will turn off the switch for abridged book get. And it will increase proper book counter by 1. Okay. And then it will activate self-switch A. And it will run the common event to check if all of the books are in the right places. Are books in the right places? Which will do something if the proper book counter is equal to 7. Okay. Other than that, we just adjust a few things. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it's 203, you take out the Jeremy book. If it's 204, you take out the Lessons book. If it's 205, you take out the Necromancy book. If it's 206, you take out the Tears book. And if it is 207, you take out the Wallachia book. Okay. This should work perfectly. Okay, I need my drink here. Okay, I see how this event is going to work. It's just kind of long. Okay. So we're going to copy all of that. And then when self-switch A is active, crap. Okay. This is going to be a little bit involved. I have not played Dead by Daylight, actually. I'm afraid I can't help you there. Alright, I'm going to take like a 3-minute break here real quick. I need to mill this around in my head and hit the bathroom. So, I'll be right back. Hello there. I am back. I see, Cole, that you are quoting, I believe specifically that one was the Link-focused game. I think that one is Faces of Evil. So I've realized that for my system to work, I need a whole other system to keep track of what book is on what shelf. So we're going to need more variables. So book on shelf 1, book on shelf 2, book on shelf 3, book on shelf 4, book on shelf 5, book on shelf 6, and book on shelf 7. So book on shelf 1 needs to be set to 1. And now we need to copy this for all of these. So book on shelf 1, 2. Book on shelf 1, 3. Book on shelf 1, 4. Book on shelf 1, 5. Book on shelf 1, 6. I do know exactly what I am doing. I see it written out in my head, but it's hard for me to accurately like define it in words quickly. So instead of that, what we need is a check if the variable book on shelf 1 is equal to 1. Take the book off the shelf. No, we'll say, you had previously placed a book on this shelf. Take the book back, and then choices, yes, no. Okay. Then if book on the shelf is 1, then you took Abridged Adventures of Corpus off the shelf. Okay. And then we turn back on the switch. Abridged book get on. And we also change the variable for book on bookshelf 1 back to 0. And now we need to do this for every 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to do this for each of the books that can go on the shelf. So if it's equal to 2, you took Dangerous Magical Practices off the shelf. Danger book get, and reset that. Okay. So if it is 3, it's Jeremy's Guide to Corpse Preservation off the shelf. And Jeremy book get, that's fine. If it's 4, I believe 4 is lessons on prayer. Yes, it is. You took lessons on proper prayer off the shelf. Okay. If it's 5, then necromancy for dummies off the shelf. If it's 6, then you took Tears of the Dead off the shelf. Tears switch back on. And finally, if it is 7, you took Wallach's best chili recipes off the shelf. Okay, and then after all of that, you turn self-switch A off. Okay. That is a lot of stuff that I just did. Okay. So we're going to have a switch marked books done. And this one is just going to say all the books are in their proper places. Okay. That is so much I just did. I have so many systems to check now. First system. Wait, there's something shiny that zombie is carrying. It might be important. Doesn't seem dangerous. It's like it doesn't even notice us. I don't think it can. It's completely mindless. Just don't try to attack. It should be fine. There in its hand, I think it's holding a key. Try to get it, but be careful. Rita took a key from the zombie. It shows no signs of resistance or even awareness. He found the seminary key. Well, at least they seem to be passive. Okay. So, all of these zombies should be working. Alright, that is functional. Bottle caps, that's fine. This one doesn't actually have anything yet. Okay. Ah, well, I shouldn't be able to walk through those, I can tell you that much. Okay. And we did get all the items that we were supposed to off of that. So if I grab this, there's an open on the floor. That should say book. It is titled Dangerous Magical Practices. There's an empty spot in the bookshelf. Try putting a book into it. Okay, it lets me do Dangerous Magical Practices. You had previously placed the book on the shelf. Take the book back. You took Dangerous Magical Practices off the shelf. Okay. This is all working so far. Okay. So let's put in the Abridged Adventures of Corpus. Okay. Now that should have increased my variable value. Proper book counter 2. Okay. So far, every single thing here is working exactly the way I want it to. The only thing I need to fix is the proper book counter decreasing when you take the correct book off of the shelf. Also, make sure that they can't walk through those. That would also be a good thing to fix. Boop and boop. Okay. Nice. And then I have to fix every one of these so it says there is an open book on the floor. There is an open book on the floor. Just 5 more times. There is an open book on the floor. 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 Okay. So this system is working. The next thing I need to do is make sure that the remove items also removes the cancel item. And the return ammo items returns it. Okay, good. That works. Okay. So now I have to copy and paste this event and adjust it for all 7 bookshelves. So all of that is the way it should be. The proper book counter should go here. And we copy this and move it to 202. And then we modify each one of these so that it is counting what book is on shelf 2. So shelf 2, 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 and shelf 2. Okay. So now here, if the book on shelf 2 is that, then you take it back shelf 2. The proper book counter reset gets moved to here. And shelf 2, 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 I think this is actually going to work exactly as intended. It's a little complicated to build it, but I think this will work as a perfectly good puzzle, where you have to put the 7 books back on the shelves in proper order. And if you do, then Thatcher gets to learn a new spell. So I think it's all working. That is 2 of the 7 shelves finished. So this adjusts shelf 3. Move this to here. And that's book on shelf 3. 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 And book on shelf 3. We just have to keep on doing this. And it will be okay. It is all going to work. I will end the stream today after I confirm that this puzzle is working as intended and that it can be solved. I'm not actually going to design the reward, the actual spell that Thatcher gets if they do this. But I will make sure that it's working. That is 3 out of 7 done. Shelf 4. And shelf 4. And shelf 4. Move these to number 5. Or number 4. Shelf 4. Shelf 4. Shelf 4. And shelf 4. Let's put that music back on. Honestly, the barracks needs to go back up in volume. There we go. Okay, so I got the first page all done. Second page, move this to the end of 4. And just another 12 of these, 11 now. to alter. So far, everything is looking pretty good. Alright. We just have to do this 3 more times. And we are getting faster every time. So we're going to start this time by moving these. And now it is just a simple matter of adjusting a few variable checks. Okay. That's all good. Now there's 14 we have to do on this page. But they all get done very, very quickly. Look at that. I'm already through with 6 of them. Now 8. Now 10. Now 12. And now 14. Alright. We just have to make 2 more of these. And put that there. And move this one here. Okay. 21 bookshelf check variables to finish. It's easy. It's click, space, click, enter, click, click, space, click, enter, click. It is just that easy. And now 14 more to go. And we will be done with this part. So far everything's going pretty well. I'm actually fairly confident that I can put in all of the books alphabetically. And it will actually trigger the reward event. And there we go. That event is done. Now we just have to do this one more time. Just move these 2 to here after selection 207. Move the proper book counter subtraction to after event 207. Alright. We are on the final round of making this event work. I do not fully understand how I was able to perceive the shape of this puzzle in my head, and I can't fully account for why, despite being able to like see how to make it work in my head, I couldn't really quite vocalize, I couldn't quite communicate all the different steps of it. But I mean, hopefully this works first try. Because God knows trying to troubleshoot this will be an absolute nightmare. Okay. Good. So, are the books in the right places? If they are all right, I will just have it play a sound effect for now. Okay, that sounds like a good side effect. A good sound effect. Alright, let's go test it. I also made sure all the zombies work, so that's good. Okay. Please tell me that this works. Okay. Cool. Just pick them all up. Alright, so we're going to put the Abridged Adventures of Corpus here. It is still bringing up the items. Oh, right, it's not taking the items out at the end of everything. Okay, that's honestly a very easy thing to fix. We're gonna try mixing up these last two, which shouldn't do anything, and it didn't. Good. So we'll put Tears of the Dead here, and we'll put Valakia's Best Chili Recipes here. Boom! Okay. That also needs to activate the switch for Books Done. That's fine. And then, yeah, the thing that I wasn't doing is subtracting the items at the end of this. So it was actually working exactly as intended. And because the items are listed in alphabetical order, it's not too hard to stumble on the solution to this by accident. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's give it one more shot. But I'm pretty sure this puzzle now functions perfectly, exactly as intended. There might be an odd bit of error to it, but we'll see. We should make it that you have to have at least one book before you can do anything with it. That's an easy fix. Okay. Cool. So this next one, I should not have the abridged, and I do not. Okay, but I didn't have... Right. I had not yet copied this to all of the other ones yet. Okay. That's fine. It's just a quick copy-paste, and a quick copy-paste, and a quick copy-paste. And now I need to copy that first event page for every single one of these. Cool. So this is going to be books started. That is the switch necessary to interact with any of the bookshelves. Very good. Start the music. And books started. Whoops. Okay. And then we delete all of that. And it just says there is an empty slot on the bookshelf. Okay. And delete, delete, paste. Good. Delete, delete, paste. And delete, delete, paste. And delete, delete, paste. And delete, delete, paste. And delete, delete, paste. Okay. This is going to be the final test of the stream, whether it is a success or not. If it is, that great. If it isn't, I will have it done before next week's stream. Actually, never mind, because it's not turning on the switch. I never added the books started switch to these things on the floor, so the test wouldn't even be able to test anything unless I put these on. So we have not actually started the final test yet. I just realized that it wasn't even possible to do the test. Cool. Alright, we should be good now. Cool. Whew. Building puzzles like this is very involved. Cool. Oh, damn it. I didn't do the first part of the test, but that's okay. We can just turn book started off. And none of these should be interactable. Good, they aren't. Whoops, don't need that. Okay, book started. So this is Wallachhia's best chili recipes. So the Wallachhia's best chili recipes should not show up here, which it doesn't. This is Lessons in Proper Prayer. This is Necromancy for Dummies. This should not activate anything. Good. That didn't activate anything. Good. Yes! That is the sound that means everything worked. Perfect. Alright, so at the end of that, I can have, like, a zombie show up and give Thatcher, like, a scroll or something. I'll figure it out and I'll make it work. The point is, that just worked. This thing, though, is using the wrong letter in corpus. The Adventures of Corpus has a K, not a C, so that works. And then in the Undead Barracks, he's holding about return to the open books in alphabetical order, please. It is signed by Librarian Richard. Okay. So that will give a clue to anyone who doesn't know how to solve it. So this is where Thatcher is going to get her next spell. That is good. So today, I built one map room, the barracks. I built one puzzle, the book puzzle. I got a template enemy done that I can use to start designing the enemies, which I'll work on before next week's stream. Yeah, I think that is good. So instead of self-switch A, we're going to have this one be readable until you actually solve the book puzzle. And then if you've already solved the book puzzle before you came here, then it'll just default for saying this zombie doesn't have anything instead of else, just this zombie doesn't have anything useful on them. Okay. The zombie is holding a note. I might have to change all those was's into is's. But that's fine. That's fine. I have done what I set out to do today. Well, I've done some of what I set out to do today. The point is, I've actually done a lot. I'm going to build the armory. And the second little area of the graveyard gardens in between, like off stream, as well as also getting Thatcher's next spell done. I will work on that off stream as well. So I should have all of those things done by the time we get to next week. All right, I think that went absolutely fantastically. And that is going to be all the time that I have for today. Uh, this upcoming week, there's going to be stream for Mindustry at some point. That'll be scheduled at least 24 hours in advance, so keep an eye out for that. There will be Metroid Prime 3 on Saturday morning. Most likely that will be the penultimate stream of Metroid Prime 3. Of course, on Sunday morning, we'll have our regular RPG Maker stream. And I think that's all the updates that I have for now. There may also be a Fantasy Life update this next week, but that will not be a stream. That'll just be a video. Okay, I think that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one, and it is time to make the sound to summon the end of the stream. Wow, 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 wow.